Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Madras Cafe, released in the United States on November 11th, 2013, and directed by Shootjit Sircar. He also directed Sardar Udam, which I reviewed and linked above. Madras Cafe is a gripping political thriller that immerses viewers in the brutal landscape of the Sri Lankan Civil War and the complex high-stakes mission to prevent an assassination. Madras Cafe is a work of fiction based on real events, which gives it real stakes. Now, before I hop into my review, if you want to support the channel, then please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you, I really appreciate it. As a warning, this review will contain some major spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Lastly, if you want to see me review something, don't forget to let me know by leaving a comment and I will do my best to get to it. Which, on that note, I'd like to thank everybody who recommended this movie. I know I've been slow to watch it and review it, so thank you for waiting. I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. The narrative follows Indian intelligence officer Vikram Singh, played by Johnabraham, as he navigates the tangled web of covert operations, betrayals, and deadly conflicts that define this historical period. The film combines a raw, unfiltered look at war and espionage with nuanced themes of national responsibility, ethical ambiguity, and the personal cost of warfare. The opening sequence sets the tone with an impactful yellow-on-black exposition and somber music that evokes the gravity of the events about to unfold. It then transitions to an overview of the historical context, underscoring the ethnic strife that devastated Sri Lanka and the Tamil minority. The film doesn't shy away from violent realities. We witness shocking scenes of militia brutality, the burning of buses, and executions, including that of a young girl, all portrayed in unflinching detail. The visuals are haunting yet vibrant, capturing both the harshness of the war-torn landscapes and the emotional weight of the story. The cinematography, helmed by Kamaljeet Negi, powerfully uses color and contrast to give the film a bleakly eye-catching texture that resonates throughout the story. In terms of plot, Madras Cafe moves at a brisk pace. The movie is in Hindi, so I was fighting for my life trying to take notes and keep up. If you're just casually watching this movie, then the pacing will be a significantly better experience for you. Vikram Singh, the main character, narrates his experience from a reflective, mournful position in 1994 after the assassination of a prominent political figure, the ex-Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi. The narrative then backtracks to Vikram's involvement in the civil conflict and his task of subverting the liberation of Tamil Tigers Elam, LTTE, the militant group led by the ruthless Anna Bhaskaran. Tasked with weakening the LTTE's influence, Vikram's mission involves gathering intelligence, securing alliances with rebel leaders, and ultimately targeting Anna himself. This is the first movie I've seen starring Johnabraham, and I was impressed. His portrayal of Vikram is intense and layered. His character conveys a tough and patriotic quality as he grapples with the moral complexities and profound loss that accompany his duty. Abraham's understated performance gives Vikram a grounded resilience that becomes especially poignant in scenes where he confronts the emotional toll of his choices, such as his wife's murder and his own near-death experiences. A fun fact is that John had to lose a lot of muscle for this role so that he wouldn't stand out as much. Remember, he's supposed to be undercover. Nargisfakhri, playing journalist Jaya, adds a crucial perspective to the narrative. She represents an investigative lens on the conflict, challenging Vikram's assumption and serving as a moral compass of sorts, though her character sometimes feels underutilized. I will say that I'm happy there wasn't a romance between Vikram and Jaya. Their focus is victory, duty, and loss. Other standouts in the cast include Siddharth Basu as Robin Dutt, RD, and Prakash Balwadi as Bala, who respectively embody authority and betrayal in their roles. The remainder of the cast, which is quite large, are all equally fantastic. The production design is meticulously crafted to recreate the war-torn regions and tense political environments. Filming took place in Malaysia, Thailand, London, and India, and recreated areas affected by the Civil War, lending the film an authentic feel. From the dense forests to the austere, rundown buildings of conflict zones, the sets effectively reflect the atmosphere of fear and unpredictability. For instance, the scenes of Jaffna where Vikram must operate are visually striking, with fog, smoke, and rubble adding layers of visual tension. These sequences bring to life the claustrophobic, high-stakes nature of espionage in a hostile territory. Another cool fact about this movie is that real AK-47s, 9mm Berettas, and M60s were used with special permission from local authorities. Because light machine gun fire wasn't permitted in India at the time of filming, the Civil War scenes had to be shot in Bangkok. I just think it's cool that where there's a will, there's a way. Sound design is another critical element in Madras Cafe, enhancing both the atmosphere and emotional intensity. The background score by Shantanu Moitra uses traditional music blended with suspenseful beats that heighten the sense of urgency. Again, this movie is fast-paced and the music mimics that. In key scenes such as the ambush or the tragic assassination, the score subtly shifts to emphasize the stakes and reflect the tension between Vikram's duty and personal loss. A recurring theme in Madras Cafe is the idea of ethical responsibility in the midst of insurmountable violence. The film examines how war impacts civilians and questions the morality of using force to achieve peace. Vikram's eventual understanding that his mission has been compromised by internal corruption adds a layer of moral ambiguity to his character and to the film itself, suggesting that political and personal interests often overshadow ethical concerns in matters of national security. This complexity is evident in the scenes where Vikram must cooperate with questionable allies, including informants and rebel leaders, to pursue his mission objectives, only to discover that his own superiors, such as Bala, are undermining him. The assassination scene toward the end of the film is executed with high dramatic intensity and powerful visual storytelling. It's the perfect climax to the movie. Vikram's desperate attempts to prevent the assassination highlight his transformation from a dutiful agent to a deeply disillusioned man. Despite the successful buildup, his failure to prevent the attack leaves an unsettling impact, as it underlines the futility and tragedy of his efforts. Sometimes it doesn't matter how hard we work. Things won't always go in our way or play out in our favor. The use of intercutting between the rally and Vikram's frantic race to the scene heightens the suspense and leaves viewers with a sense of profound loss. The climax makes you question how politics were and are handled. Before I wrap up my review, I want to talk about the pacing again. Like I said, this movie moves fast. This is generally a good thing. For a movie like this, moving fast helps keep the tension and momentum moving forward. The only downside to moving fast with a movie like this is that there is a lot of information thrown at you fast. There are a lot of characters introduced that we don't see again. There are a lot of locations that we jump back and forth from. There is a lot to keep track of, especially if you're like me and know nothing about the Sri Lankan Civil War. Some viewers might be put off by this, but thankfully I was not. It was a lot of work writing characters, places, and dates in my notes, but it was very informative for me. The goal of this movie was to shine a light on the Sri Lankan Civil War, and that's what it did. When I was done watching this movie, I spent a few hours scrolling through Wikipedia pages to learn more about the war, the tigers, and the assassination. So, mission accomplished. Madras Cafe is a powerful political thriller that follows Indian intelligence officer Vikram Singh, portrayed by Johnabraham, as he navigates the high-stakes, morally ambiguous world of covert operations during the Sri Lankan Civil War. From the opening sequence, the film establishes a gripping tone through somber music and intense visuals that capture the violence, suffering, and political unrest in Sri Lanka. Vikram's mission to dismantle the Tamil Tiger's influence introduces him to a web of betrayal, with the brutal impact of war explored through nuanced themes of duty, sacrifice, and ethical responsibility. Director Shootjit Sircar's attention to authenticity is evident in both the meticulous production design, which recreates war-torn regions, and the use of real firearms and on-location filming across India, Malaysia, and Thailand. The fast-paced plot keeps tension high, but may challenge viewers unfamiliar with the Sri Lankan Civil War. It's a lot of information, very fast. Through Shantanu Moitra's intense score, dynamic cinematography, and Abraham's compelling performance, Madras Cafe brings historical events to life in a way that is both informative and emotionally resonant. The film's powerful climax highlights the tragedy of Vikram's journey, leaving me with questions about political accountability and the personal toll of national security. While it's not my favorite Indian Hindi film, I still really enjoyed it and I would recommend watching it. Thank you for listening to my review of Madras Cafe. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if you'd like me to review something, don't forget to let me know and I will get to it as soon as I can. Huge shout out and thank you to everyone who suggested this movie. I genuinely appreciate it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.